Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and you guys, welcome to Drugstore Week. I'm so excited. This is a week that you guys have been requesting for so long, a week that I myself have been trying to put together and come up with really good, fun, fresh, cute ideas for you. So I'm so excited to kick this week off. You guys know, like, what would I have to kick this week off with? None other than a foundation review. This is the brand new Revlon PhotoReady Candid Natural Finish Anti-Pollution Foundation. So I did grab this in two shades. I have the shade 120 and 130, and here's my thing. I just pulled up like the website on Ulta to look them up and like find all the information, and they are currently not, like, they're coming soon, but like I bought them from Ulta, so I don't know, they were released for like a day and then they went away again. I don't know, but nonetheless, let's just go ahead and read a little bit about them. So these are $10.99 a piece, obviously brand new, and you only get 0.75 ounces of product, which is 3/4 of the amount of a standard 1 ounce foundation. So I'm already like, okay, not impressed, but whatever. It was released in 30 shades, and it looks like 120 and 130 are the lightest two shades, which are the ones I have picked up right here. And we go down to the description box, and it says, it's coming 9/16, so September 16th, in stores October 8th. So fun facts. It says that this is a natural finish, anti-pollution, skincare inspired foundation that is blendable, buildable, and infused with antioxidants, anti-pollution, and anti-blue light ingredients. Creamy texture that goes on like a moisturizer that blends invisibly to even out skin tone weightlessly, keeps skin feeling moisturized all day. It is infused with antioxidants, anti-pollution, and anti-blue light ingredients. Medium buildable coverage with a natural finish. That's key. Made without oils, parabens, phthalates, synthetic dyes, and fragrances, thank God. And premium pump for easy application. Okay, that's funny. We give you guys like a premium pump. So I'm kind of excited to test this one out. Let's go ahead and grab these swatches here. Now, you know what? Actually, before we get into that, I should probably tell you, I have already primed my face. I did do a split prime today, and I wanted to keep it drugstore. So I went in with two of my favorites from the drugstore. On this side of the face, I have the Milani Prime Shield. This is a very nice, slick silicone-based primer. It's really good if you have like oily skin or deep pores, texture, that kind of thing. This really does a great job at evening it all out. This reminds me a lot of the original Smashbox primer that has that slip to it. This is just a little thinner, so it's a little bit more slippery, but it's still a really, really good, affordable primer, again, with that silicone base. And then on this side, you'll probably, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, but this side is a little bit more dewy, a little bit more luminous, and I went in all over this side of the face with the Catrice Light Correcting Serum Primer in Sunlight, and I actually really like this primer. I've talked about this a lot from Catrice. It is a really beautiful, like, brightening effect to the skin, but it doesn't, like, this side is going to hopefully help correct or look at the pore aspect, where this one's going to help, and I want to see, you know, if that light can come through. I want to see what the natural radiance of the foundation is. I really wanted to have two ways to look at both the light and the pore filling, like, refinability of the foundation. So those are the two primers, and I did put them on like 10 minutes ago, just to let them sink into the skin and really work themselves down. I feel like that always works best for my skin. And then what else? I feel like there was one more thing I was going to say, and I can't remember what it was now. Oh well, let's move on. So here's something a little bit interesting for you. These are the shades 120 and 130, and as far as like the overall color, it looks like they're actually the same. The only difference is that 120 has more of the yellow, like yellowy warm undertone, whereas 130 just has a more pink undertone. That is interesting to me because I expected one of them to at least be like darker than the other, but I feel like, I mean, they both, wow, look at that reflection. I don't know though, I'm kind of, like, truth be told, I feel like 130, this is the more pinky undertoned one, but I feel like it's like pink verging on cool tone pink. That one might work for me. So real quick, you guys, I did go ahead and swatch a couple other foundations. So these two right here are the Revlon foundations, and then these shorter strokes in between are three other foundations I just wanted to compare for you. So this one right here is the Dior Face and Body, which is this guy right here in 0N. The short stroke right in the middle is this guy from Physicians Formula. This is the Healthy Foundation in the shade LC1. So that is this little guy right up here. She's little, but she's mighty. And then for the last swatch, you guys, this is the Nars Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. I know a lot of people love this. This is in the shade Mont Blanc, and that is this one right over here. So just if you were looking for a rough comparison or looking at it or them against other foundations, that is a pretty good comparison. I tried to pick ones that I knew were pretty popular, but also ones that would have a different, you know, shade range, so that way you can see the undertones. I feel like, you know, as I'm wiping this off, because let's face it, I'm gonna wear that. Whoa, that Revlon one oxidized so much. Okay, I just went to wipe this off, so don't mind that it looks all smeared, but those have both oxidized so much just sitting on my hand. Wow, okay, good to know. And I think the yellow one would be too yellow, but I think 130 will be perfect. What was I gonna say? I was gonna talk, oh, I feel like a lot of times, like if I compare a foundation shade to other foundations, it doesn't help, but then in times like this where one is so clearly like such a stark undertone difference from the other, I'm like, you know what, we need to have other representations to make it better. All right, so now as far as going in with the foundation, like I said, for the 15th time, I am going to go in with the shade 130 right here. And I'm going to just take this on the back of my hand. This does have a very thick whipped formula. That is 3 pumps right there. And I know it said on their website that this has like a medium coverage to it, but I'm really hoping that it's buildable, because I feel like every time I try Revlon foundation, I end up hating it. Where's my mirror? I feel like I spend half my life looking for a mirror. All right, what does that tell you about my level of vanity? Okay, let's make sure we are like in a good shot for you guys. All right, and of course I do go in with both a beauty blender. This is actually the beauty sponge from Morphe. I love this sponge, super affordable, and you can now get these from Ulta, so you can earn your Ulta points, girl. Now, okay, that was like one layer, and I feel like it didn't cover hardly anything, but it does have like a nice amount of radiance to it, so that's nice. But as far as coverage goes, I'm not really seeing much of any. Honestly, at this point from Revlon, this might sound really bad, but I've just come to like accept the fact that I don't know if I'm ever going to get coverage from Revlon. I actually move you guys out just a freckle because I want you to see what I'm seeing. You can tell it really evened out a lot of the pigmentation on my face, but as far as like real coverage, you're not getting any. Like, all of my redness is still poking through, all my, even like my light acne scarring right here, you can still see through all of it. That's so weird. I do want to go in obviously with the other side. I'm going to be testing that out. This is the ColourPop F15 brush. It's just a flat top kabuki. It's a pretty good brush. It does shed a little bit more than I would like, but you know what, it works for the most part, so I'm just gonna roll with it. And I'm gonna take another couple pumps. That first part over here, just this cheek, and a little bit on my forehead, that was 3 pumps. So that is another 3 pumps right here. And we're just going to take it, we're going to stipple it on with this brush and kind of see if we can get any good coverage here. Because your girl needs a little bit of coverage. Oh, that's what you're supposed to do, Paige. You're supposed to turn your body so that the people on the camera can still see what you're doing. No way. Okay, so here's the thing. This isn't giving me a ton of coverage, right? But with a brush, I do feel like you naturally are getting a little bit more than I did on the other side, but you're getting really, really light brush strokes too, so something to keep in mind. But I feel like you can tell this side does have just a tiny bit more coverage. The foundation went a little bit farther with a brush. Again, that's not uncommon, but I do feel like it's something to note because I think it's easy to forget when we test out a new foundation, an old foundation, whatever, that just, you know, keep in mind that when you use a sponge, it does absorb some product, but at the same time, it also makes it look nicer a lot of times on your skin. So there's always that balance effect. Now for me, I actually really like the coverage, or I like the coverage a lot better with the brush, but I'm not loving how it looks over my texture. So I'm going to go in with just a little bit more of this foundation. Okay, maybe. Okay, we're already not working. Already we have a malfunctioning pump, so that's cool. There we go. And I'm just going to take and I'm going to smooth over the entire face with a little bit of this. This is something I do where I kind of take a little bit of it and I work it all over the entire face one last time. And I just really work on pressing it into the skin. This part isn't so much to build coverage as it is just to make everything look as smooth as I can possibly make it. Because I don't know, I feel like the more that you are willing to and able to work with your foundation, the more you work and press it into your skin with a beauty blender, the better and smoother your skin will look in the long run. which is great because throughout the day as this wears, you want it to really be pressed into your skin, because if it starts off the day on top of your skin and not pressed in, it's not going to have any chance to wear well throughout the day. So I always make a point of going through and just really pressing it in. It's not so much ever about adding coverage as it is just about making sure that everything is sitting correctly before you move on. It's kind of like building a house. If you're building a house and the foundation is all fucked up, that house ain't gonna last very long. A wind's gonna come by and knock that damn thing right over. But if you really pat those bricks in good and you really set that foundation, girl, we're gonna slay the game. That house will be there for years, and they will be chiseling this shit off when I go to the grave. Yeah. You can tell right here, it's not giving me like all the coverage, but it's pretty decent coverage, like light medium coverage. I don't know, I feel like it's just looking really nice and luminous on the skin. Now, here's the thing. Because I am a little bit apprehensive about the overall tone of this, I'm worried about it oxidizing, I'm going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape. This I know is like a tried and true. This color is great for me, and I know that it will like withstand the test of time. So I'm going to pick this one today. I normally would like try to go with a more drugstore one, but all my drugstore ones have a horrible shade range. Drugstore, I am shading you hard right now. I have 3 that I love from the drugstore, but you know, can't go there. So we're going to go in with the Tarte Shape Tape. We're going to put this lightly under the eyes, because here's my thing. A lot of this is going to blend out, which is great, but I don't want to go in with so much that it doesn't look balanced. Meaning when you have a lighter coverage foundation on or something that's just not so mask-like, I don't want my concealer to come along and look like a mask that just doesn't belong, you know? And I always oxidize in that region, so I always dot it around there. And then I always do a small swipe at the jawline, just for a little light bounce cuteness. So here's my thing, you guys. I don't hate this. It's not my favorite. Like, I'm not falling in love with it. But I could also, like, I could see this foundation going one of 2 ways. Like, obviously one of 2 ways. But it's either going to, like, smooth out and look really nice and fresh and, like, natural face satin finish throughout the day, or it is going to look so thick and cakey in like 2 hours. Like there's going to be no in between. I can already tell. Because like there's areas right over my texture right here. Because I have those, what did you guys call those? The closed comedones or something? Comedones? Whatever it is. And I have a lot of those little bumps right here sometimes. And I can like see it kind of sticking to them. But like in other areas it looks really good. So I'm like, okay. And I'm going to go in with my Maybelline Fit Me Loose Setting Powder. This is in the shade 05 Fair. And you got to go in, you got to re-pat out your creases, because if you're like me, you crease in like 12 seconds. And then again, using that same damp beauty sponge, we apply and set the under eye. And I feel like using the damp beauty sponge, you don't have to. If you prefer to use a brush, you can. I just really like the damp beauty sponge. I feel like it really works to press it and really helps meld those layers of liquid with that layer of powder. Oh, it looks so good. And while I'm setting this, I was just like testing the tackiness. I think you would have to lightly set this foundation, because it's still like I'm barely touching it and I'm getting a lot of transfer on my hands. So you would have to set this, whether that be lightly or not is your call. But as of right now, I would say with confidence, girl, you're going to have to set this one. Hello. Because she is not drying down. She is staying very lightly tacky. And then I always move on and I lightly set the rest of the areas that I put concealer with my powder. So I do it a little around the mouth, a tiny bit on the jawline, a little bit in the forehead, but I don't go in with a ton. Just enough to kind of set the area and help make that area nice and bright, make everything stay very consistent with the lighting I'm trying to create on my face, because girl, you know we got to give the right lighting. Now for the rest of my face, I am going to set it with the Coty Airspun. This one right here is in the Extra Coverage Translucent formula. I really love this. You can build it up, you can layer it, you can do a lot with it, and I like to use this to lightly set my foundation. Now, if you go in with a lot of this, I have a feeling it would make this look really cakey, so I am going to make a very nice, concise effort to go in with as little as possible, just enough to set it down, but not so much that, again, we really thicken it up and make it like mud. So I'm going to take this on this big ass fluffy brush here. This is the IT Cosmetics number 211 all over powder brush. This is a great powder brush for something like this, and you just kind of lightly stamp it on and then make sure you dust all that back off again, because you want a very, very light, thin layer of powder. And then before we go in, we never just like sweep. We always press it in first, and that's just to get like a nice little layer on. Because what I've noticed, especially with my skin, you guys might be the same way. If you take a powder like this, and you tap off and you have this little layer and you just start going with it, what'll happen is it'll actually set down and then grab your foundation and pull to the side. And that is not what we are going for. So we are just going to Very, very, very lightly press. And then I always bring it down my neck because you know your girl's got to set her neck. Because obviously I have to pull foundation damn near to my toes to make everything match. I just feel like for the price, this is one of those setting powders that is like iconic for a reason. Like, it's so good. You guys, there's something weird going on with this foundation. I feel like it's transforming before my eyes. Like, I applied it. I showed you guys what it looked like up close, and I was like, oh, this isn't bad. This isn't bad. Before I even started blending in my Shape Tape, I was like, is this looking thicker? It's almost like it's thickening on my face, which sounds really weird. But then I went ahead and I applied my Tarte Shape Tape over top of it, and it started to look okay again, because the Tarte Tape, my God, the Tarte Shape Tape looks really good on my skin naturally. Like, my face really reacts well to it. So as I was blending it down, I'm like, okay, it's looking better, we're looking good. And just, I feel like every time I look at it, it's looking a little bit rough, and I don't, it's really starting to bother me. Okay, let me run ahead off of camera. I am gonna go ahead and throw on the rest of my face real quick, and I'm hoping that by the time I work on some like other products onto my skin, by the time that I like spray my face, set everything down, that maybe it'll just all kind of squish together and like look good. That's the goal. So let me go ahead, I'm gonna do that real quick, and I will be right back. Okay, you guys, I went ahead, I got the rest of my face on, and real quick, can we just talk about what's on my lips? This is the NYX Butter Gloss in Praline. This is so pretty. Like, it's really pretty. It has like light opacity, but that shine is like next level. It's freaking gorgeous. Anyways, let's talk foundation, shall we? So I have been wearing this Candid business right here, and I have some thoughts on this. I'm noticing a lot of cakiness, a lot of thickening up through this area right here, which if you think about it, this region is where the most product hits on your face. That's where your concealer might blend down. That's where your bronzer, my God. That's where your bronzer, your blush, and your highlight go. That's where, if you're oily skin like myself, you have to set that area. Like, there's a lot of things that go on in this region that could attribute to things looking thick and cakey and so on and so forth. But I do have some thoughts with this foundation. I think I'll save them until the very end of the day just to make sure that they are cemented in what I believe is the truth. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go do my day real quick. I will be back at the end of the day. We're going to go over the close-ups, everything like that. And we're just going to sit down. We're going to keep chatting about this foundation. But as of right now, I'm not, I'm not loving it. The finish is really nice and natural though. Like, I'll give it that. This has not went like too luminous or to this or to that. It has stayed a very nice natural looking finish on the skin. And even as I was piling products on top of it, I noticed that it still did maintain a very nice natural look to it. It didn't become overly one way or the other, which is great. So let me go ahead. Like I said, I'm going to go do the day, and I will be back on. I'm going to let you know if this becomes matte, if it becomes too oily, if everything does meld together and end up looking great. I will obviously let you know that too. And the only other thing I wanted to touch on is that as of right now, neither side looks better than the other. So the primed side that's been smoothed out with the Milani doesn't look any better than the light infused side with the Catrice. So really, we are just even right now. Nothing is like helping or hurting more than anything else. But I'm gonna go do my day, and I will be right back. Okay guys, so it is officially the end of the day. This makeup has been on my face for almost 9 hours now. It has been a long day. And let me tell you what, so here's the thing. This makeup actually wore a lot better than I thought it was going to. So I'll get into this real quick, but basically I'm going to start by saying this right now. This is probably the first or one of the only times I have seen a big difference between the sides of my face throughout the day. Obviously, you guys know this side had the Milani Prime Shield, and this side had the Catrice Light Correcting Serum Primer, and the Milani, I just said that so funny. The Milani side wore so much nicer. Like, everything was so much smoother. My smile lines right here, they're both a little creased now, but this side creased way sooner than this side, and it creased way worse while we're at it. I had like this giant line. Like, I'm just so impressed with overall, like, the smoothing differences of that Milani Prime Shield versus the other one. I'm so impressed. Meanwhile, both sides still have the exact same, like, luminous quality to the skin. Wow. And out in natural light, it actually looked really nice all day. I kept, like, running outside into the sunshine and, like, oh God, and I would, like, look at myself, and then I would run back into my cave. And I did that, like, 4 times today just to make sure that I had, like, an accurate representation. Because let's be honest, I don't want to, I don't want to be, like, living outside. Like, your girl's pasty. I'll burn in, like, 13 seconds. So I got to stop right before then. But here's the thing. Primers made a difference. Yes, I think so. But what really gets me about this is that by hour like 2-ish, everything was melded together. Melded, is that the right word? Everything was like pressed together on my skin in such a beautiful way. Like, I'm so impressed. Like, and it caught me by surprise because I have a mirror in my office because y'all know, like, I'm vain as hell and I'd be looking at myself all day long. And I'm sitting there and I grab the mirror and I'm fully expecting to see like a cakey, weird, awkward, like, a mess. And I look in the mirror and I was like, wait a second. And I got close and I'm like, girl, I look smooth. And I looked smooth until I would say hour like six and a half, right in there. And then from there out, I could tell that my texture started to happen a little bit more. It started to break up a little bit, like right in this area, a little bit more. But it wasn't until hour, again, like 6.5, right around in there, where things did start to look a little more broken, a little more textured, a little bit more all of these things. And it was so crazy to me that, like, I'm friggin' blown away right now by this foundation because I fully anticipated to hate it. So let's talk a couple of things. I think what makes this foundation more workable for me as an oily person, someone that does have to set with so many powders and I do have to go through and work so much onto the skin, I think it works so well for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think the natural finish of this helps a ton, you guys. When it says natural finish, it does not go too matte throughout the day. That was my biggest fear, is that it would actually turn more matte, which would have made that cakey look really, really dry, and then it would have just looked very unappetizing, very unappealing. So I think the natural finish is really nice and beautiful, and throughout the day, it just really helps keep you looking more dewy, luminous, like more toward that scale, but not so much so that I was really oily. Like right now, I have not blotted at all today. My nose has oil on it, but honestly, not nearly as much as it normally has right now. So as far as oil control, like the sides of my face are good. Even my forehead is good, you guys. The only area that I have any real, the only area or oil, I don't know what I just said, but the only area that I have any real oil is like right here and on my nose. But other than that, everything is going really nice in that area too. Like I'm perplexed because normally with a natural finish foundation, it starts to break down, it breaks apart really quickly, you become an oily grease monster, and that just didn't happen today. Like, wow. Okay, so how about we go ahead, we're gonna get into the close-up real quick, and then I have a couple other thoughts. So as you can see, hello, look at how good my skin still looks for 9 hours later. Like, we still look nice and smooth through here. Like the bronzer blush highlight situation, I think everything still looks nice. My highlight still looks good. It doesn't look broken up at all. You can see a difference though if I sit still for 10 seconds. You can see a big difference. Like right here just looks a lot more textured overall than this side does. And this is the smile line I was talking about. Like, look at how long that one is versus this side. It's just a tiny little guy, which is insane. I've never seen a primer make that big of a difference before. And then where was the other area? The nose actually still looks really nice and smooth. And then even the forehead looks nice and smooth as well. I don't know why my bronzer is coming off so orange. There we go. I'm like, you guys, I promise I do not look like a carrot right now. But right up through here, you can see my Hulk did get a little bit creasy. Is there a hair on my forehead? What is going on? Oh, there is. I'm like, excuse you, sir. You were not invited to my party. But the Hulk, he didn't even get that hungry. Like, look at overall, I would still wear this. But as far as making this work really well for everybody with your different skin types, whatnot, I just want to go over a couple of things real quick. So the first thing I'm going to say is that I think this is a less is more foundation, meaning use this not to build up to full coverage. I wouldn't even build it to what I did today. I would have probably done like one layer overall and then set with my MAC Studio Fix powder to get that extra coverage, or my Coty Airspun to get a little extra coverage. But I don't think that this is a foundation that I would like blatantly recommend using to get to full coverage. I would really go less is more with the foundation itself, because I feel like it looked so beautiful when I did the one pass over, and then as soon as I started to build it up, I could automatically see just like it really causing a little bit of annoyance with itself. And I think it would be more beautiful, quite frankly, if it was just less of everything. That being said, if you like to use cream products, cream bronzer, blush, highlight, that kind of thing, I actually think this might be a really nice, appropriate time to throw these in here, because I personally feel like the less powder, the better. And a lot of times when you use a cream product, they are so saturated with pigment, you can use a little bit less of them, which is nice. So I think that this would be a good time to throw that in the mix as well and consider it. Now, what I will say is that if you do have to set your foundation, you're oily like me, you can do it. It does work. And ultimately, I think it wore really nicely all night. Shit, I forgot to turn the AC off. Oh, doesn't matter. But I do think that it wore really, really well throughout the day, and I'm okay with it. But I would still make a couple little subtle changes here and there. Now, what I'm noticing more and more as the day progressed was that it looked smooth, but I would like it to look even smoother. So if I was wanting to use this as a mixer and up the coverage just a tiny bit, probably Dior Forever Undercover, something like that, or even the Catrice, if you want to stay drugstore, the Catrice HD Full Coverage Foundation, mixing that in there, it is going to make it a little bit more matte, but at least it will boost that coverage and you'll still get to use a small amount of it. So I think, is that everything I had to say? Natural finish, which was good, addressing how you should wear. Okay, yes. Overall, I really like this, and I think I was trying to find a way that I could like relate all of this back to the product itself, the packaging and whatnot, and I feel like this does have a very simplistic appeal to it. Now, my biggest issue, and I feel like it's something that needs to be addressed, this is $10.99, and at least that's what it will be at Ulta if and when it's ever available again, but it is $10.99. You only get 3/4 of an ounce. And I feel like Revlon, that is the only thing that you guys screwed up on, because this is something where it should have been 1 fluid ounce. The coverage isn't so amazing that you had any reason to bring it down. There's no reason in this product that it should not have been 1 full fluid ounce. Even if you consider using it as more of a BB cream-esque, it still should have been more than 0.75 ounces, again, in my opinion, for the price. But again, also for the price too, I think it's a good, decent foundation for a lighter coverage, more natural day. I do. I think that it would work great on multiple skin tones. I meant skin types. Actually, while we're at it, the shade range, 30 shades, not a bad skin range, Revlon. Like, okay, I can dig. I was flipping through. Granted, we don't know how accurate that little slider thing is on Ulta when you slide it over and you see all the little colors. I don't know how accurate those are, but from what I could see in there, they looked pretty good. So I'm just saying, I was a fan of the shade range. So overall, like, yet again for the 15th time, if I had to give you my would I buy this again, I actually think I would. I like it. I like the way that it how do I say this? I like the way that it went throughout the day, but my favorite thing about it is the versatility. I feel like this would be great on someone with dry skin. I think if you have oily skin, I think you could like it, you could use it, and it would be a great foundation for a lighter day. I think it would make a nice base, even if you wanted to use this as a base to regular Studio Fix foundation or whatever, like you just wanted a little bit more than a regular primer. This is a good option because it's going to give you that nice dewy luminous base, but at the same time you're going to be able to set it and use it in another way. So overall, I don't really have much negative about it other than, you know, how much you get, which kind of sucks. And $10.99, it's a little bit pricey for what you get at the drugstore, in, again, my opinion, but I think it's worth it. I think it is worth taking a look at, seeing what you think. I feel like there was something else I was going to say about this. Oh, yes. Okay, so this actually photographed really, really nicely. Like, I was impressed. I was in here, I took my thumbnails, and they look really decent, I thought. Like, you know, no retouching. You guys, I don't have time to care about that kind of crap. I do not have time in my day-to-day life to edit my damn thumbnails, okay? Like, I just don't have time for it. So, however they show up is what you guys are going to get in the actual thumbnail. And so, when I took the picture for this, I was like, oh, it's not going to look good. But it actually really was a nice, beautiful finish. So then I took it out to natural light, and I took a selfie out in natural light. Yet again, it was pretty good. I mean, you had a little bit of texture. I told you guys this morning before I left that my texture in this area was like pretty emphasized, I thought, for being, you know, so early on, which is why I did not think this was going to go well. But again, I was pleasantly surprised. I went out and took my photo, and it actually didn't look that bad in the photo. Then later on in the day, I was screwing around and I took another picture outside just to see how it would look, and it yet again still looked really nice and smooth. So I do agree. This is called the PhotoReady Candid Natural Finish Foundation. I actually agree with it. Very candid, very lightweight coverage, very lightweight feel, natural finish. Feels very light on the skin. I think it would work really nicely with a lot of different primers and skin types and skin tones while we're at it. So I'm impressed. I like it. And I'm actually, yeah, I want to know your guys' thoughts. Did you try it? Do you want to pick it up? Let me know the deets. Again, if you're expecting lighter coverage, you want to maybe just have that natural finish, I want to know what you think of this guy right here. So leave all your thoughts down below, your comments. Leave your thoughts on my skin and my face, because girl, you know we are just killing it today. And also, as an unsolicited piece of information, not that you care, the NYX Praline is what I'm still wearing on my lips. I have reapplied it 100 times today, and it barely feathered on my lips. Number one, like barely feathered. No lip liner today. Oh no, ain't got time for that business. Barely feathered. Love that. The gloss is gorgeous. It's not sticky. I love this. The Praline color is fantastic. Like, I've had it in my drawer for a hot minute, and I've just never used it, and I'm obsessed with it now, so that's good. So if you're looking at these butter glosses, you should go get Praline because so good. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about that. You guys, please do not forget, check out down below if you are curious about my Instagram, my Twitter. That's mainly where I'm at. And let's face it, you should be curious because that's where you're going to find me the most. And you can also subscribe if you would like to see me 5 days a week because that's where I'm at, right here, 5 days a week, making videos for you fabulous folk. And I think that is it, you guys. Please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this. And I'll see you in the next one. Welcome to the Revlon photo finish camera ready something Candid foundation. Welcome to Drugstore Week, Drugstore Week. Welcome to Drugstore Week, Drugstore Week. Welcome, 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 welcome to it. Welcome to it. Hey, welcome to it. I'm so excited about Drugstore Week. Probably not healthy. Welcome to Drugstore Week. Ha. Oh, I just hit myself. Damn. Oh, stop. For those of you wondering where I get my glasses from, I believe these ones and the other square ones, the really thin brown ones you were talking about, those are from Zenni Optical, Zenni optical.com. Check them out, not sponsored. I've ordered from them 100 times and they're good. I have ordered other stuff from like Glasses USA, but I believe these ones as well as those other brown frames, again, the thin ones that are like this, that are squares, rectangles, whatever, those are from them. So go check them out. Their stuff is super affordable and I actually really like them. So go check them out. Yeah. Okay, that's all. That's all. That's my PSA. The PSA is over, girl. Yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige. Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige. This is Paige. Oh God. Oh my God, you guys, my eyes are kind of puffy under there. I'm so tired. Like, I didn't sleep at all last night, and I feel like you can see all my bags right here. Not a good look for me. Okay. Now, because I am worried about oxidizing and the color. Whew, girl, time to take off my cute vest. What do you guys think about my vest from Monday's video? Yes. Actually, that would be yesterday's video for you guys. Well, don't I sound cool?
I'm Batman.